Well, I took the bike out to get mail because I was expecting some parts, but this was unexpected. It's from a person I'm not familiar with, but that doesn't mean, it's probably somebody who sent me something before, and I'm just really bad about names. I purposely don't keep track of that, but yeah, you sent me some of these magazines before. That's the guy. So those backwoods. Yeah, so now I know who it is. I just, like I say, I'm not really good about names. Oh, yeah. These Lee Pro handles that will fit on, they fit on the multi-block molds, like the 6 cavity, but they'll also work on other people's molds. They're the right size, or sometimes they just take a slight modification. But oh yeah, they're handy. I think there was one mold that I was switching back and forth too. You can have one handle, and a lot of molds people do that way. Okay. The 312-185 mold, which is, I think, is the one I was using in a Mosin, though Mosins really don't particularly care for cast bullets. I like to slow them way down. Yeah, I think I have one of these in a 2 cavity mold like this, I think. But 185 grain, I'm not real sure now. I've got a lot of molds. But the 312 was good, and it doesn't hurt for a Mosin. They can be bigger. I think I used it was 314 was working pretty good. But there are, well, some guns that are in theory 308 that would benefit from a bigger mold. And what are these bullets? Nope, gas checks. Yeah, it's something you always forget about getting. Now, see, here's something I've never tried. These are those coated bullets. I know people were really getting into that for a while. Okay, these must be the bullets out of that mold. So, that's a good size gas check. There's quite a few bullets in here. Yeah, I go through a lot of them. Like on a Mosin, I actually modified a mold to work without the gas check. I did like I did for my 351, where I cut it down to the point where I got rid of that whole area where the gas check goes, so it's a flat base bullet, but that lightens them up a little. But that works pretty good. But like I say, for Mosin, they really want to be slow to work halfway decent. Okay. A 314 sizing die. Lee. And I do have, I use 314. But they work good for putting gas checks. These probably were put on with those. The ones there. These little Lee containers, I actually don't, normally what I'll do is these are handy for like when you're putting on gas checks or sizing bullets, because they fit right over the die and they pop through. But like the ones that are made to hold die sets, I hardly ever use them. I mean, I usually, my die sets, I get them into a turret and they stay in the turret. You know, once I get them adjusted, they stay adjusted. And, okay, this is for case the shells are trimming. I've never used this type, but it is the Lee design where they lock in and then you can spin them with a drill. You know, it's got a cutter. Now I've got the Lyman one that I use, but 6.2 by 54. I'm not sure what this thing is though. Oh, I think that's, yeah, 4 bullet diameter. Yeah, there's all kinds of interesting little tools you can get to do that stuff. I kind of run pretty much by the seat of my pants. It looks like the primer tool for some die set, but that's almost short. Oh yeah, 38 special. Or maybe a Lyman set, or RCBS I think uses that design. Yeah, I've never actually tried that Lee tool. I'll have to try it sometime. Oh, and this is the other part for that. You know, because I've had to modify, yeah, 54R. And what appears to be a T-shirt with a whole bunch of beer things on it. Well, a T-shirt's a T-shirt. And towel. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. In fact, I could have used this just a minute ago. I was putting pine tar back on this again. You know, this table that I made last year, it sat outside all winter. But it was pine tar, so it didn't hurt it any. But as long as I had some pine tar mixed up doing the those seed boxes that I was making, I went ahead and put another coat on her, and I just ended up wiping it off. You know, I put a coat on, then thinned out with turpentine, rub it around, let it soak in some, then wash it kind of with turpentine to clean it off. So I might do it again, another coat, and then fire it again. Yeah, this stuff I can use. And these are always interesting reading, but then when I bring them down to the hunting shack, there's always somebody sitting down there killing time. Well, okay, now the mystery is solved, and thank you. And I think it said his name was Rob. Yeah. I could use this. They look like good old towels. In fact, I buy those in thrift stores sometimes. They'll have bags of old towels. Well, I'll buy them just because they make an excellent shop rag. All right, now back to work. I got endless amounts of stuff to do, and I was delighted to see the snow dropped out of the garden. And normally, like I had an old lady one time tell me that you got to have potatoes planted by Good Friday, or they'll never come to nothing. She said. Well, I've got seed potatoes, and my garden is a little muddy yet, but the snow all disappeared yesterday. It got to 60 degrees, and the snow just boom went out of the garden. I still got snow all over right here, but it's a little on the soupy side. But I think a day or two, if we don't get rain, I should be able to dig her, and I think I can get my potatoes in by Good Friday. Though you can put them in a month later and still have really good potatoes. But I got the seed potatoes, and this year I got to keep track. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. I'll get into it. I'm planting them, but you know how last year I had two different kinds, and I lost track of which was which. One was much earlier than the other. There was, well, I'll go into it. But I noticed the ones that were later is where I got the bigger potatoes, and I got they kept a lot better over winter. I'm just now coming to the end of my potatoes. But those stayed solid and didn't start sprouting as quick as the early ones. The early ones were what, Viking? I'm thinking, but I got to double check this. That's why it screwed me up last year. But I had Viking and Norland, I believe. Okay. Now the Viking came much earlier, blossomed much earlier, had potatoes on it much earlier, but they weren't as big a potato, and they weren't as many under a hill as what there was with those Norlands. But like I said, the Norlands seem to keep better. So, okay, if I can get it straightened out, which, if I'm right on what I'm thinking, that the big darker red ones were the Norlands. So I got both of them again. But I'm going to make a point of doing a video when I plant them so that I can always look back, because I had put the pieces of paper down, on a stake, and they blew away. Well, then I was completely befuddled as to which was which. But I suspicion. But if what I'm thinking is right, those Norlands were the later ones that got so much bigger and kept so well, and the Vikings were the early ones, really early, which is great, because then I had, so then I could eat on them, those Vikings all summer. Because like I said, they blossomed way before the other ones, started putting potatoes on way before the other ones. But they didn't get as big, and I don't think they kept as well. But then I'll just make a point of eating the Vikings all summer, and then going and storing the Norlands for over winter. And I think that'll work out just perfect. But I'm scheming. I'm kind of in the gardening mood now. But I'm in the pine tar mood too. I do love that stuff. Especially get a sunny day like this now, it'll cook in. But like I say, if it doesn't, then I wipe it on with turpentine, hit it with fire, burn her in. Like I say, this sat out all winter, and you see like this dark spot here. What that's from, there was an old axe head sitting. If you have iron sitting on wood, the iron, the rust doesn't look like rust when it goes into the wood. It gets black. You can actually do that. You can make a black dye or a black paint for wood out of the iron, the filings. It's interesting, but I don't care about a little black spot here, black spot there. I mean, I could always plane that down and do it over, but I don't care. Like I say, this sat outside all winter, and she survived just fine. But should remember not leave an iron laying on something, because it transfers the color in. Well, thanks to you again.